fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Nothing but everything is fundamental only. So it says that any composite number can be expressed as a product of primes. So actually that means what we actually find out the prime factors by factorization. Okay, so that's what they say, that every composite number can be expressed as the product of primes. The prime factorization of a natural number is unique except for the order of its factors. Unique means if you find the prime factor of 5 or 10 or 20, everyone is unique as per their rules. But you can have the change in the order of the factors. Some of you like this one, 32760. You can write it as 2, 2, 2, so 2 cube into 3 square into 5 into 7 into 13. Or normally we write it in the ascending order or descending order. Or you can even mix it up like 3 square into 2 cube into 7 into 5 into 13. That is not wrong. So it is that is called the order of the factors. You can write it anyway, but it's always good to write it in the ascending order. Always it should be written in the ascending order. 2 cube, 3 square, 5 to the power of 1, 7 to the power of 1, 13 to the power of 1. This is what the fundamental theorem tells us. Nothing very now this type of examples are very, very important, children. One of its kind do come in the boards. Now you all might be wondering, like again the CBSE says that the syllabus might change and so on. So today again I visited the site and saw the syllabus for 9th and 10th. In maths nothing has changed, children. Today also you can just Google into cbse.nic.in and check. For us nothing has changed in maths, so we will be moving ahead as we are doing. Okay. So now consider the numbers 4 to the power of n. These type of sums, these are actually theoretical sums, we call them. So these type of theoretical sums where you have to write a bit of reasoning and all these statements and all. These are type of sums, please go ahead as given in the textbook. Basically it can be rote memory or memorization, whatever you call. It has to be done in that way only. Nothing to make use of your brain that much, like in working out on sums. So consider the numbers 4 to the power of n, where n is a natural number. Check whether there is any value of n for which 4 to the power of n ends with the digit 0. So is 4 square ending with 0? No. Is 4 cube ending with 0? No. Is 4 to the power of 4 ending with 0? No. But then for that we need to have some sort of a test. We can't do it in a trial and error basis. So if the number 4 to the power of n for any n were to end with the digit 0, okay, some number, if it were to end with the digit 0, then it would have to be divisible by 5, because anything that is ending with 0 has to be divisible by 5 and 10. That is, the prime factorization of 4 to the power of n would have to contain the prime number 5. This is not possible, they say. Why? Because 4 to the power of n is nothing but 2 to the power of 2n, writing it in the indices form, exponential form. 4 to the power of n is nothing but 2 to the power of 2n. And here we can say that the only prime factor in the factorization of 4 to the power of n is nothing but 2. 5 is not there. Please mute yourself. Somebody has kept it unmuted. So the uniqueness of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic guarantees that there are no other prime factors in the factorization of 4 to the power of n. So there is no natural number n for which 4 to the power of n ends with the digit 0. This is how we are going to. There are few sums in exercise also, 1.2. On the same lines we will be proving. Basically, if it ends with 0, it has to be divisible by 5 and 10. 5 and 10, 10 means 2 and 5. So that's how these are. Now, do you need to write it? I don't think so, because it's from the textbook itself. Understand it. Okay, children? So shall I move to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, these things are also very simple. You have done it in junior classes. Find the LCM and HCF of 6 and 20 by prime factorization method. Hold, understand very properly. If it would not be mentioned by Euclid's division lemma, you would have to have done in the previous, like we did in the previous session. But here they have given that you can use the prime factorization method. So go ahead, not an issue. So I don't think so I have to do it, so I didn't work it out. 6 can be written as 2 to the power of 1 into 3 to the power of 1, 20 as 2 square, 5 to the power of 1. HCF is 2 and LCM is 60. Fine. Now again, a small note which is given in your textbook itself. HCF is nothing but the product of the smallest power of each common prime factor in the numbers. Whereas LCM is the product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the numbers. If somebody has a confusion, please see that you mark this in the textbook, these two things, because people get sometimes, you find out the prime factors, but then you forget what is HCF and how to find out the LCM. So if you all have, if no, everybody has got a textbook in hand. So see that you please make a box across this. And also you know this, that the product of the HCF and the LCM is nothing but the product of the numbers, that is number 1 into number 2. So we can use this result to find the LCM of any positive. Whatever is given and whatever is not given, you can find the other part of it. Am I done? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I progress?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, just a minute. What I would like to do or tell you is, oh, just a minute again. Now do this sum, just for a, do it by prime factorization method and find the LCM. Do it. HCF of these two numbers. Just a practice in hand. Don't open your textbook, just keep it shut for 2 minutes at least. Work out on this. Find the LCM. Find the HCF first and then find the LCM. Are we done? If anybody has done, please let me know the HCF. They have told prime factorization method. Not
HCF
4, ma'am. 4.
4.
4.
HCF is 4.
They have written prime factorization, so see that you don't use either Euclid's also you don't use, and neither you use the division method also. You remember there were methods like that also. Fine. So as you say, the prime by this it is HCF is 4. So now give me the LCM. So what is the LCM? Number 1 into number 2 divided by the HCF 4.
Ma'am, 96.
9696.
Yes, ma'am. 9696.
9696.
969.
Perfect. Good. Good. Everybody, shall I proceed, please?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Let's start with our exercise 1.2. Everybody put today's date and write exercise 1.2. Very simple. Let's just find it faster. Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo, start. Express each number as a product of its prime factors. Come on, do it. 3825.
I'm done.
What is for 3825?
I'm
Now
done.
it is 5 square into 3 square into 17.
917.
Always go in the ascending order, please. Fine.
Okay.
3 square into 5 square into 17. Go ahead with the next one. 5005.
I'm done.
Which one? 5005.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me the answer.
5 into 7
5
into
into
11 into 13.
13. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Can you see all of them are prime? All of them are prime numbers. And here also all of them are prime. Fine. Shall I proceed to the next one? Everybody is able to cope up with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody at the all around, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I go ahead covering this up. Come on, chalo. Now we are doing question number 2, the third one only. So surely, see question number 1, I took up 2 sums. There are 5 sums, okay? So the remaining 3 has gone home. Fine. Similarly, question number
Okay,
2, I
ma'am.
have taken up the third part only. So surely question number 2, the first and the second one have gone home. Fine. So now finish this off. Find the LCM and the HCF of the following pair of integers and verify. So here they've asked us to verify. So surely marks is allotted for that also. First give me the LCM, then give me the HCF. Come on. Now they have not stated any method. So do it on your own, whatever method you want. For LCM, you can take up the common, whatever you wish. I'll not speak.
Ma'am, LCM is 182.
Mhm.
LCM is 3024.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. 3000.
LCM is,
I
yes,
did the
LCM
first
is
one.
3024.
3024.
Yeah, and then check what's the HCF.
Ma'am, HCF is 6.
6.
Yeah, HCF is 6.
Yes, this
Perfect. HCF is 6. Now check it out. Now write, verify. This is the next part of the sum. So what will you do now? Product of the two numbers, find it out. Now find what is the LHS, find what is the RHS. Multiply LCM and HCF, multiply the two numbers, and then finally show that HCF is the LHS is equal to the RHS. This has to be shown. Then write verified HCF multiplied by LCM is equal to product of two numbers.
But the method I did was first I used the that Euclidean theorem to find out the HCF, and then I used this formula to find the LCM.
No, you will not find use the formula because they have asked us to verify. Understood? In this particular sum, you will not use the formula. Otherwise, marks will be cut off. You will lose marks in the verification part because that means you already have taken it into account. And you will lose marks in the LCM part also. So
Or I can, okay.
tell me.
Nothing, ma'am.
So be very careful what the sum says. Depends on the sum. Children, you are going to write boards. So see that any sort of doubt you have, please clarify it. It's possible that you are going to tuitions and all. It's always better to clarify from the teacher.
Ma'am, I had a doubt.
Tell me. Speak.
Ma'am,
Who is it,
polynomial
please?
chapter.
1 minute. Who is it?
Ma'am, Amogha.
Amogha, tell me.
Ma'am, I was doing a polynomial chapter and I started doing some other problems apart from textbook.
Okay.
So, ma'am, I came across this term called discriminant negative. So,
negative discriminant. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Negative discriminant is not there in your syllabus, Amogha. That is the problem when you do R.S. Agarwal and or R.D. Sharma and all. There are certain questions, because I also know I go through those, which are not there in your syllabus. Okay. So discriminant is what? B square minus 4AC.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
So,
So
we need
when
that
it becomes negative, that means you don't have real factors. The roots are not positive, and that's not in your portions. They're all virtual roots, imaginary roots. Okay. So let's
So
not.
we don't need that, right?
No, not at all. Okay. And all of you, surely you have to do other books. And as you have seen, the worksheets and all that I prepare are from these books only. Okay. So now the thing is, when you're preparing and you're coming across such doubts, please mention it somewhere. Someday we will meet, na? So that time we can go ahead with this. Okay. I think Amoga is clear about it. So now moving ahead, shall we move to the next slide, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, chalo. Okay. Seems as if I'm playing here. Okay, chalo. Now they have written by applying the prime factorization method. So find the LCM and the HCF. Here also, you cannot use the formula. Do it.
Ma'am,
Huh?
HCF is 3.
Ma'am, 1.
HCF is 1.
HCF is
HCF
1.
is 1.
LCM
And
is 11339.
LCM is 11339.
11339.
11339.
Okay, perfect. Girls, where are you? Vanshika and all, I can't hear anybody. Shigari, Vanshika, where are you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Ananya, are you able
Yeah,
to do,
ma'am.
children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, fine with me. Be with me, children. Be with me. Can we proceed to the next slide? See
Yes,
that
ma'am.
everything is done, at least whatever time we are spending here. You take down everything from the whatever I'm sharing. Okay? Chalo. Now this is that type of a sum where we had done in the example, no? Check whether 4 to the power of n can end with 0 or not. Same way, I would want everybody to write it down, please. Please take it down once at least. If any number ends with the digit 0, it should be divisible by 10. Or in other words, its prime factorization must include 2 and 5, both. A prime factorization of 6 to the power of n is nothing but 2 to 2 into 3 whole to the power of n. By fundamental theorem, this has to be written. By fundamental theorem of... one minute, let me finish it. 1 minute.
Your voice is cracking.
Voice is cracking. Because others, everybody feels my voice is cracking, children?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh,
That
ma'am.
is, it happens when your internet connectivity is a bit unstable, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's okay, that's fine. By fundamental theorem of arithmetic, prime factorization of a number is unique. So, 5 is not the prime factor of 6 to the power of n. Hence, for any value of n, 6 to the power of n, this is not 6n, 6 to the power of n will not be divisible by 5. Therefore, 6 to the power of n cannot end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. These are all 3 marker sums, children. So see that you very clearly mention these proper statements. These are all simple theory sums. This fundamental theorem of arithmetic prime factorization, these all are keynotes. You write science, SST and all. You know what are keywords. In maths also for such sums. So basically what is the concept that we have understood in such type of sums is, in order to solve such problems, the concept used is, if a number is to end with 0, then it must be divisible by 10. And the prime factorization of a number is unique. So any number to be divisible by 10 has to be divisible by 2 and 5 both. Everybody is writing it down, please. Because I think there are no questions like this anymore in your exercise. Okay, fine. Finish it off. I'll go to the next slide.
Now, what's the next question?
1 minute, 1 minute. I've just mixed and matched. Wait a minute. Question number 6. Again, question number 6 is a bit theoretical. Only this chapter has got questions which are a bit on the theory side. That's okay. Okay, children, are you done with question number 5? Shall we proceed to the 6th one? Somebody needs to mute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Now see, that's what I said. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 are composite numbers. There's a way of doing these sums. Just don't randomly start multiplying and adding it up. Numbers are of two types, prime and composite. Prime numbers have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. This you need not write. Whereas composite numbers have factors other than 1 and itself. Are we right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, it is observed from this part, the first 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 is nothing but, if I take 13 common outside, can I do that?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do I get? 7 into 11 plus
Plus
1.
1.
That is 13 multiplied by 77 plus 1. That is nothing but 13 into 78. Or if you break it down, 13 into 6. Fine with that? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
now, what do you see here? 13 is also there, which are two prime numbers, but 6
And a
is also
composite.
there. There is another factor. So there are two different factors. Can we say that this is a prime number? This whole thing is a prime number? No, we cannot say that this is a prime number, because we have a prime number along with a composite number also as its factors. So the whole first part, this whole first part becomes your composite number. Same way we do for the next part of the sum. We write the same thing. We take 5 common. So as soon as we take 5 common, we get 5 multiplied by 108 plus 1. Okay, that is 5 multiplied by 1009. Again, we see whatever the number might be, if you multiply the whole of it and get the answer, still then you have two different factors. 5 is also a factor, 1009 is also a factor. That means again, it cannot be a prime number. To be a prime number, it would have had only 1 and itself as the factors. So here also we see there are two factors. So again, this whole big thing is nothing but a composite numbers. So therefore, both of these are composite numbers. Understand how to do the sums, because you will not be given the same question. Different numbers will come. Sometimes with a subtraction might come. Okay. So in that case, you should know how to take common, how to go ahead with it. How to write that they have different factors, or both of the parts have different factors, and thus they become composite numbers. That was the last question from this exercise. The 7th one, you take it home. It's a small problem sum, nothing to find the HCF and the LCM only. So I'm not taking it up. I'll go to the next part of the text now, where we are going to revisiting irrational numbers, which again you have done last year. Now finish this slide. Are everybody done with this slide? See that you
Yes,
write
ma'am.
down things very properly. You don't miss out steps. Because here you will get
Yes, ma'am.
marks, or it might be a 3 marker, it might be a 4 marker, depending on how they increase the complexity of the sum. Okay, now we are going to the next part where we are revisiting irrational numbers. Now, what are rational numbers actually? Rational numbers are any numbers which you can write in the form of P upon Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. That is how we say that those are rational numbers. Other than that, we say rational numbers are also something in terms of decimals. If we say they are either terminating decimals or repeating non-terminating decimals, they are called rational numbers. So then what are irrational numbers? If it cannot be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers. So some examples are roots of all these things. If you try doing it out, you will see they will be all non-terminating and non-repeating. Remember these. Non-terminating and non-repeating gives you, write it down somewhere bold. Non-terminating and non-repeating decimal gives you irrational numbers. So as you can see here, 0.10110111011110 and so on. That is, it is non-terminating. It is not repeating also. Nothing is getting repeated. So they form irrational numbers. Now, root 2, you have already proved it in class 9 because I'm teaching 9th also now. I'm doing it with them also. So root 2, root 3, 5 minus root 2, 5 plus root 3, and all these things we have proved it last year. So before we prove, now we will just look into this fundamental theorem of arithmetic, because it's based on that. Now, it is said that we will be using it while we are proving that root 2 is irrational. Let P be the prime number. If P divides A square, always, if P divides A square, then P divides A, always. You check it out on your own. If 3 divides, suppose P divides A square, then P will divide A, where A is a positive number. So we'll be using this continuously while we are proving with root over 2, irrational, and so on. So here are some examples in your textbook. Just jot it down fast, children, because you have done it last year again, as I said. Please jot it down. Because these type of sums are there in your exercise also, which I have not taken care of this time. I have left it for you to do. Or you can check it out from your textbook. Now let us assume to the contrary that this is, we do contradiction method. So if we consider that root 2 is rational, that means we can write root 2 in the form of R upon S, where R upon S have any other common factor. We divide, so we can write this in the form of A by B, where A and B are co-prime. That means B root 2 is equal to A. Squaring on both the sides and rearranging, we have 2B square is equal to A square, which says that 2 divides A square. If 2 divides A square, just like the previous one we did, if 2 divides A square, then 2 has to divide A. The same thing we are utilizing here. Since 2 divides A square, so 2 has to divide A. That means A can be written in the form of multiple of 2. So A can be written as 2C for any integer C. So here you can write 2B square is equal to 4C square. I think you can see from your example, this is exactly from the example itself. So we can write B square is equal to 2A square, which
Can
means...
you go to the slide before?
Yeah, are you copying?
Yeah, you told to jot it down.
Achha, jot it down. Fine. At least do one of it for practice. This type of sum will be there. One of it will be there. Either root 2 or root 3 or root 5 or a combination of terms. This will be there for your boards. I've taken it completely from your textbook itself. Are we done? Shall we move to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, children, one more thing. This, now by theorem 1.3, this you will not write 1.3, because in our textbook it is 1.3, might be in some other textbook it is 2.3. So instead of writing the theorem number, here you will write by fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay. Now what are co-primes actually I've written? Two numbers are co-primes if they have no other thing common between, though no factors are common other than 1. So 12 and 1, 12 and 5, 12 and 7, 12 and 11, 11 and 7, 5 and 7. These all are co-primes. Because we are writing here that they are co-primes. Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done. Remember, these sums you have to practice very properly. There is no shortcut. You have to write the steps properly and get those 4 marks or 3 marks. It has to be done. Now, same way, prove that root 3 is irrational. These are all from your textbooks. I'd rather do this one. Show that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Now, when you have questions like this, need not start proving that root 3 is irrational, okay? Need not start working with that. You will assume that it is the whole thing is rational and start proving. Please take down this also. They are there in your textbooks, but still then, if you take it down, it is something will go into your memory. Do not forget to write that A and B are coprimes. Very essential. All those who are doing sums from other textbooks, which you have to do, see to it that please consult me if you are facing some challenges in certain questions. Ask me the syllabus and work it out. Because a lot of places, the ICSE and CBSE, they have merged in various publications. So be very careful. Unnecessarily don't. If you want to, that's wonderful. But then need not. Just let me know once you're done with this slide also. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I move to the next slide? This one.
Yes, ma'am.
Show that 3 root 2. Now multiplication, instead of having the operation as subtraction or addition, we have multiplication here, same way.
Ma'am, so should we write this one also?
Yeah, it's better because you have these questions in your exercise 1.3.
Okay, ma'am.
There is no other way of solving these sums other than the contradiction method. Okay, done? Now, moving ahead to exercise 1.3. Now, exercise 1.3 is very, very small, consists of only 3 questions. So, I have taken a few of it. Only with this I have taken that. That's it. The remaining goes home. So, we are now next meeting on Monday. So, you get time in between.